Hi, everybody. Welcome to BRC Ball Talk. Today, um, and many more nights to come, we're going to do something different. Right now, I want to talk about memories, one of the greatest sports memories of my childhood, man. Um, I would like to relive the 1993 finals. You know, I lived in Chicago for a very long time. I lived in Chicago for all of the six championships. I lived in Chicago when the Bulls just started turning the corner. We grew up in Miami. I grew up in Miami, Florida, but we moved to Chicago, in the suburbs of Chicago, in 1988, and that's when the Bulls just kind of started turning the corner. You know, that's when the Bulls started. They just started getting confidence to be one of the better teams in the league. Slowly but surely. You know, we all know they had that struggle to get past the Pistons and whatnot, but 88 around the 88, 89, that's when the Bulls started turning the corner. You know, the Bulls started getting that confidence. But 93 finals, man, what a crazy finals. In my opinion, I think it's one of the best NBA finals of all time, man. That's just my opinion. But the Bulls got to the finals by beating the Knicks in a hard fought series, man. Very fought series. It was a big time rivalry back in the early 90s, the Bulls and the Knicks, man. Uh, and the Suns, they got to the finals by beating the Sonics in 7 games. That was a good Western Conference Finals. 1993 between the Supersonics. Supersonics had a good team that year, man. They had Gary Payton, Sean Kemp, Ricky Pierce, Eddie Johnson. They had a good squad, man. But the Suns, man, the '93 Suns were a hell of a team. You know, they had Barkley, Danny Ainge, Dan Marley, a very underrated ball player, Dan Marley. Um, they had Kevin Johnson. Kevin Johnson should be in the Hall of Fame, in my opinion. Tom Chambers coming off the bench. Oliver Miller with his defense and his intensity. Cedric Sabalas. They had Richard Dumas, a young Richard Dumas, athletic Richard Dumas. They were just a tough team, man. And what a lot of people don't remember, what a lot of people don't remember about the '93 Suns, man, they were down. They were down 0-2 to the Lakers back when the first round was the best of five. They were down 0-2. They were on the verge of getting swept by the Lakers. And I remember the uh, I remember Paul Westphal saying, we're going to win game three, we're going to win game four, and then everybody's going to say what a good series this is. You know, and sure enough, man, the Suns won three in a row in a thrilling game five. I think that game's on YouTube, man. A thrilling game five, uh, Lakers and Suns. So pretty sure that game's on YouTube. But back to the '93 finals, man. Game one and game two, I remember dearly, was in Phoenix, and the Bulls kicked ass, man. The Bulls kicked ass. You know what I mean? Pippen was playing good. He was doing all kind of crazy layups. Jordan was Jordan. You know, uh, you know, he was doing his thing. Horace Grant was playing well. John Paxson was hitting shots all over the place. B.J. Armstrong was playing good. You know what I'm saying? And the Bulls, I believe the Bulls won game one by 20. Game two, the Bulls had a big lead. You know what I'm saying? They were up by 20. The Suns made it real close at the end. But Scottie Pippen made that huge block. You know, to preserve the win. So now we got game three coming in Chicago, man. I'm confident. I want to sweep. I'm ready for a sweep. The Bulls are up 2-0. We got game three coming in Chicago. The Madhouse on Madison, man. I wanted to sweep, man. So I remember Chicago just being on pins and needles, man. And pins and needles for that game. So we game three, it's a good game. It's a good game. Uh, Bulls are playing really well, man, but the Suns are too. The game goes into overtime. Okay. The game, and winning two overtimes actually. The Bulls had a chance to win it a few times. I think Horace Grant might have missed a layup at the buzzer or an alley oop or something. Uh, oh, Pippen tried to throw a last second alley oop to Horace Grant, but Horace Grant mishandled the pass. The Suns could have won it too in the second overtime. I believe Danny Ainge missed the wide open three. Danny Ainge missed the wide open three. I almost shitted on myself, man, because he was wide open. And back then, Danny Ainge didn't miss wide open jumpers. You know what I'm saying? So, so then it gets to the third overtime. Uh, I started getting worried because Scottie Pippen was cramping up. He's laying on the floor. Marv Albert is like, oh, it's Scottie Pippen is cramping up. He's on the ground holding his thigh. This and that. Marv Albert's going crazy. So I'm concerned. So the game's getting real close. It's real tight. It's about to go to a fourth overtime, and the Bulls put in. I remember the Bulls putting Stacey King in the game. Stacey King throws a stupid pass. Uh, I think he was trying to throw the ball to Will Purdue of all people. Charles Barkley intercepts the freaking ball, makes a layup. The Suns are up by four with like 20 seconds. Game over, man. Game over. Uh, Game three, triple overtime game. Everybody's tired. I'm tired as hell. The crowd was tired. I cried like a baby after that game, man. I cried like a baby. And I know people are asking, they're going to ask, why are you crying like a baby? It's the Bulls are still up 2-1 in the series. Man, I wanted to sweep. I wanted to sweep that team, man. I wanted to sweep the Suns so bad, man. I just wanted Charles Barkley. I was getting tired of his mouth, man. And I was a 14-year-old kid, man. The Bulls meant everything to me at that time, man. The Bulls were it, you know. So I was a diehard Bulls fan, man. So now it's game four. I cried like a baby. I swear to God, I think I cried 40 hours straight, man, because I wanted to sweep. I wanted to sweep that team so bad, man. It hurt. To this day, it still hurts. It still hurts. That game three, man, it still hurts. But so now it's game four, and the Bulls are up 2-1. Jordan went crazy in game four, man. Jordan was throwing up all kind of crazy layups. He was shooting all over the place. John Paxson was shooting good. I remember B.J. Armstrong playing really well. Of course, Scottie Pippen. Pippen was playing well. You know, Horace Grant played well in Game Four. B.J. Armstrong played really well. Jordan was just incredible, man. Another thing I remember Dan Marley shooting threes all over the damn place, man. He shot one from Joliet. I can hear to this day I can hear Marv Albert and Marley for three. Yes, from Joliet. I think he hit one at the buzzer before halftime. He was just driving me crazy. I think he had like 5 3-pointers in game four, man. He was pissing me off. Well, anyways, the game went down to the wire in game four. The game went down to the wire. Jordan by now he has like 50 points, bro. Uh, I think the Bulls were up by two. It's getting late. It might have been like 30 seconds on the clock or something. Jordan threw threw up a shot from his hip as he was fading left. If you're a diehard Bulls fan or Suns fan, you know what shot I'm talking about. And I don't even think Jordan wasn't even looking, man. He hit the shot and one. Barkley fouled his ass. Game over. Big Armstrong. tries to settle Michael Jordan down. I remember that image. He hugs him, tell him to calm down. Jordan's got his pump in his fist. You know, he's about to run towards center court, and he's got his hands up. Bulls win. Excuse me. Bulls win. Bulls win. They're up 3 games to 1. So now Chicago's on pins and needles, man. Chicago's ready to celebrate. Chicago's ready for a three-peat. And you got to remember at this time, man, no team in the NBA three-peated since the 60 Celtics back in the 60s. So this is history right now. So we got game 5 coming, you know, but now we got Charles Barkley running his mouth. Charles Barkley starts running his mouth talking about save the city. He's talking about, he's running his mouth to Danny Ainge and Kevin Johnson, talking about we got to save the city. Our goal is to save Chicago. I guess Barkley got offended because, he was strolling around town in Chicago and he saw that the city of Chicago was boarding up the windows or whatnot. I guess in Barkley's mind, the Bulls were overconfident. The city of Chicago was overconfident that we were going to get the three-peat. Um, so I guess that fired up the Suns, man. And I remember the Suns came out like gangbusters, game 5, man. They were hitting everything. First quarter, they might have shot like 80%, 80 in the first quarter, man. So I'm thinking, fuck, man. The Suns had a big lead in the first quarter. You know, Jordan's hogging the ball. Pippen, he's playing well, but we're still losing, man. We're flat. We come out game 5 flat, and the Suns are just making everything. They're hot. Richard Dumas is making everything. Kevin Johnson's on fire. Fucking Danny Ainge or Dan Marley's on fire. You know what I mean? So I'm like, fuck, man. So all of a sudden, here comes John Paxson coming off the bench. Paxson, bam, a 3-pointer. Yes. Again, in the corner, pump fake Sparkly. Yes. The 3. Yes. Paxson comes off the bench, and I swear to God, man, he had like 5 3-pointers straight. The Bulls are back in it. The Bulls are back in it, man. And then the third quarter, uh, the Bulls started kind of falling apart again. The game's still close, but the referees kind of took over the game by then. They kind of, they wanted the series to go back to Phoenix. Uh, and I remember Jordan saying before the game that we're not going back to Phoenix. We're not going back to Phoenix, man. I remember Jordan specifically saying we got to close it out now because if we don't close it out, we're going to be facing a Tiger back in Phoenix. So if we lose, I'm not going back to Phoenix. Y'all going by yourselves. I'm not going back to Phoenix. I remember Jordan saying that, and I was like, whoa, man. I was like, whoa. This is when Jordan, man, was like super competitive. He was super competitive, and I was like, and as a kid, as a 14-year-old kid, man, I'm thinking, man, whoa. I just remember, whoa, man. So now I'm thinking, fuck, man, we can't lose now because Jordan, he's not going to go back to Phoenix. Um, but the referees took over the fucking game, and I remember Danny Ainge hitting a wide open 3-pointer to put the icing on the cake, man. And to this day, that game hurts. We lose game 5. There no three-peat celebration in Chicago. Uh, and I remember, man, I remember crying after that game, man. I remember crying. The game hurt. It hurt bad. I know we won it all. I know we won the championship, but that game 5, man, still hurts. And because I wanted, I wanted that three-peat, I wanted that three-peat celebration in Chicago, man. Um, the city deserved it, man. And um, I wanted to kill the Suns, man. I wanted blood. I wanted blood, man, because you know the, the Bulls were the better team. Okay, the Bulls were the better team. The Bulls should have swept the Suns that series. Okay, the Suns, they played no defense. They just wasn't on the same level as the Bulls, man. And I know they had Charles Barkley. They had all these guys, Tom Chambers, Danny Ainge. I get that, okay, but they don't compare to the Bulls, okay. So I'm devastated, man. I am devastated. I'm hurt. We got to go back to Phoenix. Uh, they some way somehow made Jordan board the plane um, for Game Six in Phoenix, and I remember. I believe the game was on a Father's Day, man. The game was on a Father's Day, and I remember cutting the grass. My dad had me cutting the grass, and I wasn't. I was so devastated from the Game Five loss that I wasn't speaking to nobody, man. I don't. I was devastated. I was crying all day. Um, you got to remember, man. I'm 14 years old, man, and the Bulls meant everything to me, man. Uh, and that's all I had, man. Chicago Bulls. That's all I had, you know. And I remember my dad asking me for a hug, man, for Father's Day, and I don't know if I blew him off after I cut the grass or I gave him kind of like a weak hug. Um, he got pissed off. He told me, "You're grounded, man. You go to your room, turn off the TV. Uh, you know, just go to your room. You can't watch TV. You can't do shit." I'm like, "Fuck." And the game is about to start in a few hours, man. Game six, one of the biggest games in Bulls history. Okay. Uh, and I'm like, "Fuck." I'm grounded for this game. And I happened, well, and I was like, I remember saying, well, if I'm going to be grounded, I'm going to record the game off the VCR, man. I remember setting the VCR. You remember back in the day where you programmed the VCR and it took like 8 hours to program it, man. You had to hit this button here, put your left leg here, put your right leg here. There's like a million steps to program the damn thing, But I programmed the VCR perfectly to record the game, in the front room. So it's about 30 minutes to game time. My dad comes in the room. He was like, "Okay, son, I'm gonna let you watch the game, man. I'm gonna let you watch the game. Uh, you know, but when the game is over, man, you're grounded. You're still grounded, okay?" And I'm like, "Okay, cool." So I watched the game, and the Bulls and Suns, Game Six. The crowd is hyped. I remember the Suns were real hyped, man. Uh, I remember the songs they were playing before the game. They were playing Billy Idol, Rebel Yell. The crowd's into it. Uh, the Suns fans, they were playing uh, what's that song? The boys are back in town. Thin Lizzy, Doom, doom, doom. The boys are back in town. Doom. They're eating that Dino's or something like that. You know what I mean? Like remember that one song, Thin Lizzy, The Boys are Back in Town. I like that song. I know I'm not supposed to because I don't know. But anyways, so the crowd's into it. Biggest game, one of the biggest games in Chicago history, and I'm looking around. I'm looking at the Bulls' faces for this game six, and I've never seen a team look so focused in my life. There were no smiles uh, in the starting lineup when they were introducing the players in the starting lineup. The Bulls looked serious, and I knew, man, it's on. Jordan had that look. Pippen had that look. B.J. Armstrong wasn't smiling. He had that serious look on his face. Horace Grant. If you if you ever have time, go watch that Game Six of the 1993 Finals, Game Six, and watch the player introduction. Watch the Chicago Bulls introduction. I've never seen a team so focused, so intense in my life. In my life, man. So the game starts. The Bulls and Suns are going back and forth. Barkley's hitting all kind of crazy shots. Jordan's Jordan. He's shooting 3 pointers from all over the place. He's doing all kind of layups, fadeaways. BJ Armstrong is on fire. He's shooting 3 pointers from the corner. Bam. You know, uh, Pippen is playing good. Marley's doing his thing. Jordan is, uh, Chambers. I think Tom Chambers had a little reverse dunk, and I was like, "Ooh, okay, game on." Tom Chambers bringing it back to 87. With the reverse jam. Okay, it's game. It's a game. It's a game on. And we haven't even got to the second quarter. You know what I mean? Or halftime or whatnot. Uh, Richard Dumas is doing his thing. Kevin Johnson is shaking and baking. So I'm thinking game on. It was a close game back and forth. The Bulls and Suns are going back and forth. Game six. Uh, so I remember Danny Ainge hit a 3 pointer in the third quarter, and his foot was on the line. And I remember Phil Jackson going crazy, but the referees counted it as a three. But you can clearly see his foot on the line, on the replays. And I remember Phil Jackson going crazy, saying he's going to protest the game. Go watch that game six. You'll see it. You'll know what I'm talking about. So now, so again, the third quarter is close. Marley's doing his thing. So now we get to the fourth quarter, man. I'm shaking like a leaf. I'm scared. The greatest game in NBA history, in my opinion. Game six, 1993 finals, greatest game in NBA history, man. I don't care what anybody says, man. So the fourth quarter comes, and the Bulls cannot buy a bucket to save their fucking ass, man. As soon as they took Jordan out the game to get his rest or whatnot, the Bulls could not score. And I'm like, shit. Uh, I remember the Bulls coming into the fourth quarter, they had like a 9 point lead. B.J. Armstrong was on fire. Paxson was hitting his jumpers, you know what I'm saying? Even Trent Tucker hit a few shots, coming off the bench. So I'm thinking, we got this, man. We just gotta play our game, be cool, and the championship is ours. Okay. But the Bulls fell apart in the fourth quarter. I'm scared, man. I'm fucking scared. Uh, I'm going crazy in my room, man. I'm going nuts. Okay. I'm stomping. I'm jumping all over the place. I'm going crazy, man. So the game gets real. Uh, I remember Marley hit a late 3 pointer and to put the Suns up by two, I want to say. And then Jordan hit like a pull up fadeaway to tie the game. Okay. And then what happened next, man? I think Barkley made a layup. I want to say Barkley made a layup to put the Suns up by two, man. To put the Suns up by two. Okay. And or put the Sun. God, I can't remember, man. I think Barkley made a layup to put the Suns up by two. And Jordan, I might have been to put the Suns up by three. So then Jordan gets the ball and he goes coast to coast, shaking, baking, and he made a layup. He made a layup, and now the Bulls are down by. Then the Bulls are down by one. Okay, now the Suns have the ball back. Now, um, they get a 24-second violation. Marley hits an air ball. Okay. Sorry if I'm getting this sequence kind of wrong here, but this game was like 93, man. It's like 30 years ago. Okay. Um, so just bear with me. But I remember, so the Bulls get the ball back. Okay. Down by one. I want to actually they were down by two, I believe. So Jordan gets the ball. Okay. Jordan's running down the court, gives it to Jordan. Jordan throws the ball to Pippen. Pippen throws it to Grant. And I'm thinking Grant only had 1 point by this time. He couldn't hit shit. So Horace Grant had a wide open layup, but he was like, "Fuck this, I'm not shooting it." So he throws the ball to Paxson. Paxson was wide open, and at this time, man, Paxson didn't miss wide open jumpers. John Paxson was one of the greatest shooters of all time, in my opinion. He had a wide open three, man, and I swear to God, like I damn near, I damn near shitted on myself because I'm thinking, oh my God, John Paxson's open for a three, and we're down by two. Holy fucking shit! And I remember the ball being in the air. It seemed like the ball was up there for like 3 hours. Even Paul Westphal said that he was looking at the ball and the ball was up for like 3 pointers, 3 hours. And if you look in the corner when Paxson let the ball go, you can see B.J. Armstrong in the other corner falling down because he knew John Paxson was going to hit that shot, man. So Paxson hit the fucking shot, man. And I swear to God, man, I never jumped so high in my life. I jumped up. I jumped up, and my head hit the ceiling, man. My head hit the ceiling 3 seconds. I literally was knocked out for 3 seconds. Okay, like so I'm knocked out. I wake up, gather up my senses, and I'm like, fuck. Okay, Paxton just hit a 3 pointer. Okay, Neil Funk, the Bulls broadcaster on the radio, is going crazy. Him and Tom Bullwinkle, man, they're going crazy. They're going nuts on the Bulls radio station. So, but Phoenix has the ball. I want to say with like 3.5 seconds left. So I'm like, fuck, we got to come up with a defensive play. Who's going to be the GOAT? And I remember Oliver Miller taking the ball out, and I can remember to this day, I can remember Marv Albert saying, Miller Miller looking, gets it off the passes to the Kevin Johnson, Johnson looking, and then Johnson hit like a running jump shot, and it looked really good. And I swear to God, it looked like it was going to go. It was going to go in, but my man Horace Grant, who should have his fucking jersey up in the rafters in the United Center. Yes, I fucking said that. Fucking Horace Grant should have his jersey hanging up at the United Center. Made a sensational, as Marv Albert would say, a sensational block of Kevin Johnson to seal the deal. He blocks Kevin Johnson. And I can remember Neil Funk on the Bulls radio station. He blocks Horace Grant. He blocks Kevin Johnson. Horace Grant, who could have been the GOAT, is the hero as he blocks Kevin Johnson. And this series is history. Tom Bullwinkle, God bless his soul. Tom Bullwinkle. I loved him as a broadcaster. I love Tom Bullwinkle as a broadcaster, man. I'm getting chills right now thinking about it, man. I'm getting emotional. Talk among yourselves. Coffee talk. Sorry. I had to do a little reference from Saturday Night Live. If you grew up in the 90s, early 90s, you know what I'm talking about. But anyways, so Horace Grant makes the block. Bulls three-peat. The whole team comes off the bench. Crazy celebration, man. Crazy. Everybody's going crazy. Jordan jumping around. Horace Grant jumping around, hugging everybody. Paxson. Everybody's hugging Paxson for the three-pointer. You know, John Paxson, greatest shot in Bulls history, by the way. The greatest shot in Bulls history. Yes, I said it. John Paxson. Yes, the greatest shot in Bulls history should have his jersey hanging in the rafters in the United Center. John Paxson. B.J. Armstrong should have his number retired too. Hell, the whole 1993 team should have their jersey retired in the rafters in United Center because the 1993 Bulls is one of the greatest teams ever. Yes, I said it, man. Now the 1992 Bulls might have been the most talented Bulls teams of the early 90s as far as championship wise. No, the 1993 team, that team was special, man. The 1993 Bulls was special. So, of course, Jordan was the MVP. Jordan played spectacular in Game Six. Um, one of the greatest moments of my life, man. Uh, Father's Day, uh, because the Bulls three-peating was a huge fucking deal. It was a huge fucking deal back in Chicago, man. Because if you think about it, man, from where the Bulls came from, people don't understand, man. You could like if you go back to like '86, man, the Celtics used to kill the Bulls. The Lakers used to kill the Bulls. The Pistons used to kill the Bulls. Like back in like '88, '89, the fucking Pistons used to kill the Bulls. The Sixers used to beat the Bulls up too. Um, yep, I said it. Back in '89, '88, the Sixers used to rough up the Bulls every once in a while. The Knicks used to beat them every once in a while. The Cavs used to kill the Bulls back in the early '90s, man. Late '80s, early '90s, back in like '90. Cavs used to come in there, beat up, beat up on the Bulls. The Pacers used to give the Bulls a hard time. The fucking Jazz used to beat the Bulls. They used to come in there and beat up the Bulls. The Lakers used to smoke them. Uh, so it was special, man, because from where the Bulls came from, man, people don't understand, man. And for that team to three-peat, man, um, it's just unbelievable, man, because you got to understand, man, nobody has ever three-peated since the '60 Celtics, man, at that time. The Lakers never done it. Bird Celtics never three-peated. The Bad Boys Pistons never three-peated. You understand? Uh, it was just a special time in my life, man. Uh, you know, it was a memory that you don't forget, man. Um, and I told you earlier, I recorded the game. To this day, I still have that tape. I still have that tape, man. Um, and I get chills down my spine, man, just remembering those games. Just remembering that series. It takes me back to an innocent time, early '90s, special time. Um, not only a special time in my life, but a special time in America, man. Um, I wish as a kid back in the early '90s I could cherish every moment that I had. Um, that I could absorb every great moment that I had. Um, and I wish I would have took everything in because early '90s was a special time, man. It was a special time, and um, I'm going to say this, and a lot of people might not agree, but I don't give a damn. If you really think about it, baseball hasn't been the same since the early '90s. Since '93, in my opinion, that's the last great year of baseball. 1993, before they did all these wild card divisions and all these fucking eight divisions and all that shit, But they did all that shit in '94, and '94 was that big strike in baseball. So, um, but I remember the '93 Phillies. It was the last year of the NLCS uh, four divisions. Winner takes all. The winner of the division, the winner of the NL East, the winner of the NL East play each other um, in the playoffs in baseball, and I like that. And a lot of fans miss that. Um, none of this freaking wild card, three wild card teams, and all that bullshit. Yeah, I get it. It makes a lot of money for the league, but that's not what it's all about, man. Because let me tell you something, man. Less is more. Less is more, man. We don't need 3,000 playoff games in baseball, man. We don't need that. Either you're good enough to go to the playoffs or you're not, man. You know, but uh but back to the 93 finals, man. In my opinion, that game 6 was the greatest game in NBA history. I don't give a damn what anybody says. I don't give a damn if a game goes in quadruple overtime, 8 overtimes, whatever. The 1993 NBA Finals Game 6 is the greatest game in NBA history. The greatest game in NBA history because you have Hall of Famers all over the place. You got Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, you got Scottie Pippen, you got a Hall of Fame coach, Phil Jackson, Paul Westphal coaching the Suns, you know. Uh, it was just incredible, man. And I'll never forget it. Uh, you know, I'll never forget that game, man. Um, to this day, I think about that game a lot. To this day, I think about that series a lot. 1993 finals, I think about it. I'm not going to lie to you. I think about the 1993 finals every day, man. It's like a it's like a lost girlfriend that you had a crush on, man. Early 90s basketball. Hell, from a early 90s basketball standpoint, the league was in a great place, man. The league was in a great place because, like I said before about baseball, like less is more, man. Less is more. I miss um like I missed the first round. You remember back in the first round in the NBA playoffs? It was the best of five. It was the best of five, man. And I don't know about you, man, but I missed that, man. The first round, man, the best of five. I don't know, man. But now these days, the first round, 7 games, man, that's too much, man. That's too much, you know. Because back in the day, man, that first round, that best of five was kind of like a pregame to the rest of the playoffs, like a precursor to the rest of the playoffs. It was like a sneak peek, kind of like to warm us up. And hell, even you can go back further. I think back in the mid '80s, the early '80s, it was the best of three in the first round. You know, and man, I think the NBA should go back to that, man. Go back to the first round, best of five. What do you say? I think it makes the games more exciting, man. You know, when you got the series all are drawn out, 7 games, it's too long, man. Fans don't want to see that. They don't want to see that, man. That's what makes March Madness great because it's one shot, one kill, man. You know, and then from that standpoint, if the NBA can could bring that one game intensity, uh, that one for all game. I think uh, I think it'll be good for basketball, man. But they're never going to do that, though, man. They're never going to do that. But I just wanted to reminisce about that 1993 finals, man. You know, BRC ball talk, man. Um, it was just a great moment of my life, and I'll never forget it, man. This is BRC ball talk, and have a good day and have a good night, man.